Hello, welcome back to day 8 of our maths orange and blue questions answers today. I thought I would just mention at the start of this video that if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, then you will know each time I upload a new video, or it might make it easier to find the channel. And I have created a playlist of all the maths questions because there are some English videos either aimed at CN or those guys that are in my English class as well. And if you just wanted to look for the maths answers, there is a playlist of those as well. Okay, with that little bit of admin out the way, let's get on to the answers for today. So here we go with day 8 orange questions. And we can see that our first question is about Mary. Mary makes toys. On Monday, she makes 7 toys. On Tuesday, she makes 8 toys. By Wednesday, she has to make 20 toys in total. Well, that was a bit of a tongue twister. How many toys does Mary need to make on Wednesday? Okay, so we're going to go back to my favourite, the bar model, to help us picture this. So I'm going to draw a bar that is going to represent all the toys she has to make. And you see in the question where it tells us that by Wednesday she has to make 20 toys in total. So here's our bar that's going to represent 20 toys she needs to have made by Wednesday. Then we're going to split it up to see what she's already made. So on Monday, she makes 7 toys. So that's Monday. And on Tuesday, she makes 8 toys. So we need to figure out what she needs to make on Wednesday so that she's made 20 in total. So once we've filled our bar out, it's going to look like this. 7 on Monday, 8 on Tuesday, how many on Wednesday? So now we're just looking at 20 as our whole. We have 3 parts. So I'm going to do the 2 parts we know, and I'm going to add them together to total them. 7 plus 8 equals 15. Please do count that on your fingers. Use a number line to hop. Write it on your paper, whatever way helps you get to that answer. So 7 plus 8 is 15. So now we know that 20 is our whole, Monday and Tuesday equals 15. So what is the part that goes with 15 to make the whole of 20? So if you remember, we're looking for a gap or a difference. We're going to do 20, take away 15. In this case, I'm going to count on from 15 to 20, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and that is 5. So on Wednesday, Mary needs to make 5 toys so that she has made enough. Okay, that's question 1 done. Let's have a look at question 2. So Tom has £20. The watermelons are £2 each. He buys 7 melons. How much money does he have left? Well, if they are £2 each and he buys 7 of them, that means he has 7 lots of £2, or it costs 7 lots of £2. Remembering another way of saying lots of is in multiplication. So £2 times 7, because he buys 7 melons. So 2 times 7, or if you find your 2 times it table easier, 7 times 2. 7 times 2 gives us £14. Again, remember it's very important to have your pound sign. But the question didn't ask us how much does Tom spend. It asks us how much Tom has left. So Tom started with £20. The melons cost him £14. So how much money does he keep? How much has he not spent? Or you could think of it as how much change was he given if he gave the shopkeeper his £20 note. So let's have a think. We are looking here. £20 was his whole. He spent £14 on watermelons. So what is the other part? £20 is the whole, £14 is a part. What is the other part? We're looking for our difference. We're going to do a subtraction 20 take away 14, which gives us £6. So Tom has £6 left. You could draw that out in a bar model if you wanted to. We could say, okay, one box is £2 because that was one watermelon. And then he's got 7 of them. So I could draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes. And then instead of doing 7 times 2, I could add up 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is counting in twos. And that would give me my £14. And then exactly as before, we'd need to find the difference. So we would need to find what this bit is. If it's all £20, he spent 14. What did he have left? He had £6 left. Okay, question number 3. We have to circle 3 numbers that sum to 12. Can we remember what that word sum means in maths? That's right, it's an addition. So 3 numbers that will add up to and then total 12. So we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And I am going to tell you that there is more than one way to answer this question. So I'm not going to give you all of the answers in this video. I would like you to have a go and see if you can come up with some that I don't say. The way that I'm going to think about this is my number bonds. Now, I know that 12, if it was split into 2 parts, would be 10 and another 2. That's nice and easy for me because 10 is a round number to work from. So 12 in 2 parts is 10 and 2. But that doesn't answer this question because I've only used 2 numbers and 10 isn't in our list. But this is where my number bonds come in. So I think, well, 10 can be split. And I know in my number bonds, if I look at my list, I have up to 6. So 6 and 4. I'm going to do my 10 split down into 6 and 4, and then I'm going to keep the 2. And so now I know that 6 plus 4 plus 2 must equal 12 because 6 plus 4 equals 10 and 10 plus 2 equals 12. So there are 3 options, 6 plus 4 plus 2. I want you to think, are there any other options? 6, 4 and 2 is the one I came up with. But if you thought about what else you could split 12 into, possibly 6 and 6, or 7 and 5, or 8 and 4. If you split that up, could you then split one of these in 2 again? So I did 6, 4 and 2, but I want you to see if you can come up with some other options, starting by splitting it in 2 and then splitting one of those parts in 2 again. Let me know what you come up with. Okay, so that is the orange questions done. So let's move on and have a look at the blue questions. So we're back to toys, but this time it's not just Mary. We're in a toy factory this time. So workers in the factory make toys. And on Monday, they make 2,350 toys. On Tuesday, they make 235 more toys than they did on Monday. And by Wednesday, they have to make 7,500 toys in total. So how many toys do they need to make on Wednesday so that they've hit their 7,500 toys? Well, we can start this one just like we did with Mary, even though it's bigger numbers, and we could draw our bar out. So we know that over Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they need to have made 7,500 toys in total. So there's our whole bar, 7,500. Well, on Monday, they made 2,350. On Tuesday, they made 235 more. How? So in just labeling it for a minute, I'm going to have to put 2,350 plus 235. Okay. And then on Wednesday, what did they make? So here's my label: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, they made 2,350. Tuesday, they didn't tell me exactly, but I've written a calculation in to help me, because they told me that on Tuesday, they made 235 more than they did on Monday. And I know how many they made on Monday. So I've written 2,350 plus 235. And then we have our missing part from Wednesday. So I think my first job is to figure out Tuesday by doing this calculation. So 2,350 add 235. 2,350, 235. Written it out in column. Can anyone spot my mistake? What's going to go wrong with my addition? That's right, I've lined it up in the wrong place value columns. This is the thousands column for 2,000, but I've put 200 underneath it. Let me try that again, and I'll be really careful to line it up properly this time. So 2,350, and I make sure the 2 for 235 is in the hundreds column. Okay, that looks much better. So we're going to start over here. 0 plus 5 is 5. And then 5 plus 3 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 2 plus, well, nothing, is 2. So my answer for Tuesday is now 2,585. So I'm going to fill that out in my bar model. So 2,585 goes into the bar model. So now I have two parts: 2,350, 2,585 plus Wednesday will equal my total. So that's right, we need to go backwards to get to this. What I'm going to do first of all is total these two parts to be this bit of the bar. Then I'll take that bit of the bar away. So the first calculation is Monday adds Tuesday. So Monday adds Tuesday gives me 2,350 plus 2,585. Okay, so this is exactly like what we just did. I've made sure I've lined it up correctly, and this time we do have thousands in both. So 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. So we're going to put the 3 in that column and carry the 1 over. So 3 plus 5 plus 1 is 9. And 2 plus 2, 4. So we now know that Monday and Tuesday equal 4,935. So now we know that part is 4,935, whole is 7,500. So we need to do a subtraction calculation to find the missing Wednesday amount. So remember, with our subtraction, our whole, so our biggest number is going to go on the top, 7,500 minus 4,935. Now, in this one here, we're going to start as ever with our units. 0 take away 5. Now 0, too small, I've got nothing to take away, so I need to come and borrow from the next column, but there's a 0 in there as well, so I need to keep going. And we're going to borrow 1 from that 100 column, or regroup from that 100 column into the tens, because 10 tens is the same as 100. So I'm going to come along, cross out that 5, and it's going to become a 4 because I've taken one of the hundreds off. And I'm going to put that 100 into the tens column. So now you can see that we have 4 hundreds and 10 tens. So now when I try and borrow for the ones column, I can look and say, oh, there's 10 in there, I can take 10. So we're going to regroup and turn that 10 into a 9 because we've taken 1 from the 10s and we've put it into our ones. So now we've got 10 ones, the same as 1 10. So now we should be able to go back to the subtraction. 10 take away our 5 is 5. And 9 take away our 3 is 6. 4 take away 9. Oh, we've got another number that's too small on the top. 4 take away 9. So again, we're going to regroup. We're going to come to the thousands column this time. Turn our 7 into a 6 and bring that 1 along. Okay, so now we've moved it from the thousands to the hundreds. We have 14 take away 9. I can do that. Figure out it's 5. And 6 take away 4 is 2. So on the Wednesday, the factory needed to make 2,565 toys. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on to question 2. So question 2, we've got a bunch of carrots. It says the carrots are £1.80 per kilogram. How much does 250 grams of carrots cost? Okay, there's a couple of steps in this. First of all, we're given the price per kilogram, but we are asked how much it costs in grams. So we need to be able to convert our units. We need to think, how many grams are there in a kilogram? So 1 kilogram equals how many grams? Can anyone remember? That's right, kilo is our clue here. It is 1,000. So 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Okay, we also know that that costs £1.80. So that costs £1.80. Now we want the price of 250 grams. So we need to think, what do we do to turn 1,000 grams into 250 grams? Now, if I divide both my answers by 10, I get the numbers 100 and 25. Now, I know those numbers a lot better. In fact, we did them in yesterday's questions. What's the relationship between 25 and 100? That's right, there are 4 lots, or it is a quarter of. There are 4 lots of 25 in 100. So because we divided both by 10, means the answer is still the same. There are 4 lots of 250 in 1,000. So to get from 1,000 to 250, you divide by 4. If we've divided the weight of what we want by 4, we need to divide our price by 4 as well. So divide by 4. So £1.80 divided by 4. There's a couple of ways we can go about this. I would like to partition it and do £1 divided by 4, because we've just talked about 100 divided by 4, and we know that £1 is the same as 100 pennies. So 100 pennies divided by 4 is going to be 25p, or depending on how you want to write it, £0 and 25 pence. So 25p or £0.25. So that's the £1 divided by 4. What about the 80p divided by 4? This is a bit easier. That's going to be 20p. So we have 25p and 20p. We're just left to total those together. We end up with 45p. Okay, make sure you're using the right notation. I've written it this way around, 45 and a pence, or I could have written it as a pound symbol. £0 and 45, and I don't need the p at the end because I've used the pounds. Okay, so 45p for 250 grams of carrots. And let's look at the last question, question 3. This time we're looking at parsnips. So parsnips are £2.60 per kilogram. How much does 300 grams of parsnips cost? Okay, so if we write up what we just had before, we now know that a kilogram is 1,000 grams, and that equals £2.60. But we want 300 grams. Is there an easy sum to divide 1,000 to get to 300? No, there's not this time. So we need to think this might take 2 steps. What I am going to do is put up a clue for you here. Think about what the first step could be. If we can't do 1 division to get down to 300, could we get down to something that is a factor of 300? Okay, so here's my clue. We're going to start at our kilogram, which we know is 1,000 grams. And then I've written to go to 100 grams. So what do we do to 1,000 to turn it into 100? We divide by 10. So what are we going to do on this side? £2.60 divided by what? That's right, the same thing. So we're going to divide £2.60 by 10. Okay, now remembering that when we're dividing by 10, it's just about moving that decimal point. And because we're making our number smaller, we are going to move our decimal point to the left. So that now gives us this number. If we move it to the left, 0.26, and because we're looking at pounds, £0 and 26, or 26 pence. So 100 grams is 26 pence. So what do I do now to get from 100 grams to the 300 grams of parsnips we actually want? Well, this time we're getting bigger, not smaller. So it's going to be a multiplication. And that's right, we do 100 times 3 to get to 300. So what do we have to do with the other side? We have to times our money by 3. So now we have to do 0.26 times 3. Well, rather than timesing that decimal, which might seem a bit confusing, shall we just times our pence using partitioning? Okay, what's 3 lots of 20p? That's right, it is 60p. And what's 3 lots of 6p? It's 18p. So I've partitioned into 3 times 20 is 60 and 3 times 6 is 18. All I have to do now is total my answer, 60 plus 18, and we will get our answer that our 300 grams of parsnips cost 78 pence. Or if we're writing it in the same way as before, 0.78. Brilliant. And that is all of Day's 8 questions done as well. So as I say, do subscribe to the channel so that you don't have to find it each time. You can just log back in and have a go at the next ones. And we're doing really well. That's over a week's worth of problems of the day done. We will keep going. I believe there's 20 to do in total. So keep checking back for more videos afterwards, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.